Here's what happens when an engineer of Formula One, who is also an astrophysicist and a doctor of philosophy, Robin Tully, gets bored. Tul-aris 800 is the top racing projectile, based on a two-stroke engine with 185 horsepower at 119 kilograms, a motorcycle with an intimidating power-to-weight ratio and original solutions, built it himself in his house in the late 90s. This is another unique page in the world of two-wheeled engineering, which means that the next 15 minutes will be as informative and educational as possible for you. Robin Tully was born and raised in Germany, where his father, who was born in Iran, sold Persian carpets before immigrating to California to grow avocados. In America, Robin has already graduated from the University of California in astrophysics in Berkeley. Then he obtained a doctorate in philosophy, and all this time, he was passionate about motorcycles. This passion was so great that in 1996 he stopped trying to find out how galaxies were created in order to become the chief chassis engineer for Victoria Motorcycles. After, he joined Polaris Corp, the leading US snowmobile and ATV manufacturer based in Minnesota. But it was just the start of his engineering career, which led him to a love for two-wheeled vehicles. When exactly does Tully manage to become such good friends with motorcycles? For the first time about Robin, as an avid motorcyclist, became known in 1986, when during his studies at Berkeley, he was a member of the San Francisco motorcycle club, the Road Holders, where he was called some German guy on a Norton team. Young Tully hid his involvement in amateur races to prevent his father from discovering his son's hobby and suddenly ending it. Robin was a skilled racer, and his club was proud of him, even when he didn't achieve victory. Soon he will receive a higher education, move to the University of Texas at Austin to obtain a doctorate in philosophy, and continue to participate in races with even more victories. On his old Norton, Robin frequently took prize places and even emerged as the winner in Daytona. After a period of time, Dr. Rob Tully will begin constructing his own ultimate sports projectiles in order to participate in and win races. His initial creation was a motorcycle named Tully Eccentric 500, where Tully is a blend of Tully and Honda. With the engine capacity of 500, the CR500 model used the Doctor's prototype as its power unit. And the word eccentric here is not just like that. The Doctor secured the pendulum using an eccentric. This solution enabled the rope to adjust the length of the bike's wheelbase, balancing maneuverability and stability, and also adjusting the angle of inclination of the rear swing arm for better traction of the rear wheel with the track during acceleration. In general, the Tully 500 is a motorcycle with flexible adjustment of many components. 8 years of racing experience has taught Robin that it's tough to achieve the desired outcome on factory motorcycles. Now it's clear that eccentric is a suitable name for this motorcycle in a literary sense too. For example, a homemade adjustable frame that allows you to make changes that affect weight transfer. Thanks to him, tul-da is very sensitive to changes, and such options really help him bring the chassis to perfection. Or a frame made of thin-walled 1.5 mm tubes made of chrome molybdenum steel, which underwent multiple heat treatment to attain maximum rigidity. The fuel tank and seat were constructed using carbon, and it took Tully a month to accomplish the task. The motorcycle was ready in the winter of '93, and today one can understand how advanced the technology was for that time, especially considering that the motorcycle was built in the basement of a house by a person who was simply passionate about motorcycles at that time. Quite eccentric. But that's not all the amazing facts about Doc's first motorcycle. As I already said, the Eccentric 500 had a two-stroke single-cylinder engine from the Honda CR500 model, a lightweight piston, a huge 44 mm carburetor, and a cut-in-half racing radiator from the Nissan Isma. More efficient than any motorcycle radiator, allowed to increase the motorcycle's power to 75 horsepower while remaining in a comfortable temperature mode. Tul-da 500's weight was 87 kilograms. It is between the dimensions of 125 and 250. Even the front fork for manageability is installed a regular telescopic, as it has a smaller, unsprung mass than the gaining popularity in those years inverted. The only drawback of the motorcycle was strong vibration. But Doc was able to adjust the engine in such a way that this vibration bothered him only at idle, in the range where Rock did not intend to use it. On the tops, according to the creator's assurances, the engine was super smooth. We can only wonder if such a motorcycle was functional, and I must say, yes, absolutely. As evidence, Rob Tully participated in the tul-da races in the Clubman Series in 1994 to 1995, winning 10 out of 11 starts. In 95, he raced in the Unlimited Twins class, winning 3 of 5 starts. In the same year, he took his motorcycle to Daytona, winning the Sound of Singles race. While working with Victor and assisting with Doc's initial engineering research, Robin Tulu acquired the nickname Rocket Man due to his enthusiasm for astrophysics and a humorous t-shirt that read, VR Rocket Scientist. Later, in 1997, during the daytime work already at Polaris, Robin encountered a prototype of a snowmobile engine, which caused his fertile imagination to accelerate to the first cosmic one. During Robin's tenure at Polaris, they were introduced to computer modeling, which also emerged as a branch of study, since individuals fascinated by astrophysics often perceive mathematics as an innate language of the universe. Seeing the opportunity to model, calculate, and test his ideas primarily using the company's computer equipment, Robin became enthusiastic about a new project. Moreover, Rocketman was allowed to use equipment, free from work time, to implement his ideas into reality. Software, 3D printers, and CNC machines. Everything a genius needs for happiness. And also special hydraulic stands that allow testing the chassis of equipment for 24 hours a day, with any loads and simulating absolutely any conditions. For example, to practice 10,000 combinations on the track, the team and the test pilot would have to spend the rest of their lives collecting and processing data. The computer will complete the task in a matter of hours. Tully pondered why similar approaches were not being applied to motorcycles. From all this variety, the 185 horsepower tul-aris project appeared, where the name again plays with the surname Tully and the name Polaris. After all, the snowmobile engine prototype scene became the power unit of the new Doc creation. After 3 years and countless hours of hard work, he rolled out the final result of his labors from the basement of his own home in the suburbs of Minneapolis, where he and a small team of assistants created a two-wheeled work of art in 2000. In March of the same year, Robin tests his new motorcycle at Daytona and realizes that even 4 national titles do not allow him to fully unleash the potential of tul-aris. To achieve this, he drives of racer Robert Jensen, who initially beat tul-aris Robin in regional races and later in national races against the GSX 1000, leading to a victory in Formula USA. But then Robin received an offer he could not refuse: move to the United Kingdom to become the head of the research and development department. The Renault F1 racing team brought their tul-aris 800 with them. In 2005, in the first full year after Tully joined them, the Renault F1 team dominates Ferrari Speed Stalo. Young Spanish pilot Fernando Alonso attains World Championship title and will duplicate this achievement in the upcoming year. The team's consistent laboratory work and testing on the track under the guidance of Tully undoubtedly played a role in achieving this success. And on one of these track tests, Ruben rolled out his racing motorcycle to let his friend have a chance to enjoy a few laps before he goes into the garage for the winter season. The pilot initially observed naturally the extraordinary power of the motorcycle. It was the motorcycle with the fastest acceleration he had ever ridden. More powerful than bikes such as the Britain V1000 and the Grand Prix Honda NSR 500V, and this already indicates a significant difference. 800 cubic centimeter two-stroke parallel twin liquid cooled, could it be otherwise? Almost a liter of explosive high-performance two-stroke power. His base, the Polaris snowmobile engine with a displacement of 700 cc and a 180-degree crankshaft, was carefully modified by Robin. Initially, it was reduced to 752 cc and generated 110 kilowatts to the rear wheel or 123 kilowatts from the crankshaft. Robin slowly raised volume to 792 cc, power to 136.5 kilowatts, equaling 185 horsepower from a small engine, and this is with a motorcycle weight of 119 kilograms. Such power allowed the pilot during the test run to outpace the dragsters based on the Kawasaki ZX-7R that were running parallel to him on the adjacent drag strip, built specifically for maximum acceleration. It must be an incredible feeling. Also noted was the extremely deep and muscular sound of this engine. Perhaps the only downside of such an engine was a sharp power surge after 6,000 revolutions per minute, but as soon as the Arrow crossed this mark, Larry became very fast, as well as incredibly stable in speed. All thanks to hours of computer tests and, as a result, the finest tuning of the chassis in which Toulouse excelled the most. Robin Toulou's expertise in hardware testing for MTS and various computer modeling programs allowed him to develop a truly efficient chassis package that enabled the motorcycle to handle well and decelerate effectively, while his unconventional thinking helped build a unique engine that would fit this motorcycle in size. Weight, concept, and ultimately would surpass any other motorcycle engine of that time. And tul-aris is a package that has a professional appearance even though it is small in size, it is not tiny. His wheels are slightly under 138 centimeters apart. The main structure of the chassis consists of aluminum plates that securely support the engine. The chassis forms a small reservoir behind the steering column, which holds nearly 4 liters of fuel. This is combined with a 3.5-liter tank. The rear frame is made of cellular sheets with Kevlar and carbon surfaces, very similar to the modern construction of Formula One cars. The Tully transmission was utilized by Ducati, clad in a homemade aluminum and carbon fiber body. The clutch is driven by a gear rack, features of a snowmobile engine. The carburetors are directed forward, and the exhaust system is compactly located under the tail of the motorcycle. The channel radiator lies almost horizontally under the seat. Air is supplied to it through an air duct above the engine. All components fit together so neatly that it seems they were created for each other, without the involvement of a real genius. When comparing, the tul-aris, a 20-year-old vehicle, has a power-to-weight ratio better than any civilian or track motorcycle, even to this day. The exception will be only the H2R for obvious reasons, and the difference is not that great. A person in the basement against giant corps with hundreds of engineers and whole racing divisions. I have no further comments to make. Unfortunately, you can now only meet Laris at the Goodwood Speed Festival, where Robin was last seen riding it in the year 2015. Maybe collaborating with giants like Renault and subsequently Mercedes-Benz consumed excessive time and effort from Robin. His brilliant, innovative, one of the best racing motorcycles in history, now it stands in a cozy garage next to the stable on the riverbank in a small village in England. Maybe I will leave the final words to Robin himself, his brain creator, who is most likely still raising his child after all of these years. Why do I believe so? Just recall the number of occasions Michelangelo came back to repair the Sistine Chapel. A pleasant moment in creating this motorcycle was that I met many good people with whom I worked on it, he says. I have made lifelong friends thanks to tul-aris, and that's the best thing for me. Victory over Suzuki to win the US Formula race is a good practice to become part of a team that has turned Renault and Mercedes-Benz from constant underperformers in Formula One races into dominant world champions.